backing pads have become central to live performance in a lot of situations. For example, rather than having a hard stop and start between songs in a concert or in a worship setting, backing pads now can create a little bit of a transition between. In addition to that, in a lot of types of music, say if you don't have a dedicated synth or keys player, sometimes having just a little bit of strings or pads in the background can bring a little more fullness to the other instrumentation that you have. So, luckily, Metronomer in the new version here with Play, you can now add backing pads within each song. And so you pick your key that you would like the pad to be in, and you can adjust the volume. And then you'll see as there's other keys that are defined. Let me show you one other thing here. Now in the settings cog, you'll see that there are some globals set for panning. So you can pan the pads to the left or to the right, or there's also a crossfade duration here. So if you notice, right now we're set at 4 seconds. And so if I start a click, here the click starts right away, but the pad fades in over the course of 4 seconds. You notice the other thing that'll happen is when I hit stop is that the pad doesn't end immediately, but it actually begins a 4-second trail out there as well. Now this is so that there's not a harsh start and stop with it, and in addition, if you're flipping between multiple songs, with the pads, you get more of a seamless transition, even when you're doing a key change. So here we're going to go from E to G, and listen to the transition here. And then again to the key of C. Now, as we mentioned before, in the click settings of each song, you can also toggle on or off the click sound. This could be especially useful if you're not playing with a click track, but you would still like to have some backing pads to your songs. For example, if you're doing an acoustic set and you just want to add a little more warmth to the set overall, this is where it'll come in handy. So now that the click is muted on each of these, you can get the playback of just the pad. And this will loop seamlessly and infinitely until you either stop or go to a different song. So you can make your song as long or short as you want. Now, when you consider that there's MIDI integration for each of these as well, theoretically, you could have one song with a foot controller set up for different chords and follow you along through the song, but that's another possibility of something that could be done with the pads. But that's an overview on what the pads look like, and here I'll give you just a sample. If we pan the click to one side and pad the pan to another, then you'll hear something that sounds like this. Here you can hear that the pad now is coming out of the left and that the click is coming out of the right. So again, if you're in a live situation and it was helpful to run this as 2 separate channels to your soundboard, one where only the band would hear the click in their ear and where the pad would go then to the loudspeakers or the mains, that would be a possibility. That's a little bit on backing pads. Excited to see what you do with this one.